Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at the 80 years Marvel Legends Spider-Man, specifically Big Time Spider-Man. Now, if you recall, a few years ago we did actually get a version of this figure that is notoriously now known as Big Time Letdown Spider-Man through popular usage from Shardamus Prime, and yeah, basically as you can see here, he is black and he is green. The other one was meant to show kind of the green kind of shining, emitting light, and all it did was just basically wash out the entire figure with green fading, so he just basically was just green on green. Well, finally, they have revisited it, and yet it is, and I'm willing to bet it's 100% because of the work from Shardamus Prime over the past few years, taking the mick out of that figure, and, you know, the powers that be at Hasbro noticed, and here we have this guy. So, there you go, there you can see the kind of light-up effect of the suit. The suit itself looks amazing, and if you've played the Spider-Man PS4 game, it's awesome on that, so definitely check that out. And on the back here, it says, after losing his spider sense, Peter Parker builds a new spider armor to protect himself. So there we have a little bit of an origin as to why he has this suit. So let's get this thing out of the packaging and take a closer look. And here's Spider-Man out of the packaging. Now, in terms of the main body here, we're not seeing anything new. We're just seeing a blank Spider-Man mold that we have seen multiple times before, along with all of its accessories. Now, with it being one of the anniversary figures, it does come with a few accessories, and it is a slightly lower price point, so it's basically a normal Marvel Legends price point, as opposed to the slightly higher ones that we're seeing from Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, which obviously is really good. Obviously, you don't want to be paying that kind of price if you're just getting reuses of molds. So that is a really good plus point about this figure. Now, as you can see, we have this kind of open wall crawling style hand right here, and we have a fist. Now, we actually do get quite a few accessories. So you actually get a pair of those fists, a pair of those wall crawling hands, and a pair of web thwipping hands as well. So that's really nice. No interchangeable head or anything like that. We do actually have, though, this web accessory, which we've had with a couple of other Spider-Man figures, which is really cool. Let me just turn that brightness down just a touch there. So you've got the hook on the one end, and then you've got the handle on the other. Now, he doesn't have a standard gripping hand to actually hold said handle. You can obviously just pull the hand off and just put it around his wrist, and then put the hand back on, and it'll just be, you know, on his wrist, and you can angle it so that it looks like it's coming from where it should. Or you can just try and kind of, you know, wedge it between some of the fingers and whatnot, and have him hold it that way. Obviously, you would more than likely use it with the web thwipping hand. But yeah, in general, it's an okay accessory. I'm not a massive fan of it, because the hook on the end, yeah, from the weight of the figure, it's not really going to hold it up on a lot of stuff. It can hang from things, but it would be better if it had a wire in it or something. And it would be better maybe if it was actually attached to one of the hands, like literally molded to a hand, so that you didn't have an actual handle like this, because that's kind of weird, because he normally just grips the web from the line. So it's a good accessory. It's a nice idea that Hasbro are giving us some kind of webbing. It's not the best execution, but it's something, and we've seen it before, so it's nice that for an anniversary figure, you know, we are getting, you know, at least some kind of webbing there, so that is nice. Now, the figure itself, Big Time Spider-Man. This time, it is not Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. The QC on mine isn't the best. I'm just going to be upfront about that. The top of his head there, you can see, is glossy, and then about halfway down the head, if you're in line with the top of the eyepiece there, you can clearly see it. It goes to matte. For some reason, the top of the head's glossy, and I don't know why. But then the rest of the figure is matte. It's almost as if he was balancing on his head, and that bit didn't get covered by the matte finish paint or something like that. That's kind of what it looks like. And also the green around the eyes, it's not a super sharp line there. And on the chest, it's not a super sharp paint line around the edges. But in general, the green is nicely applied. And, you know, there's not much like smudging or, you know, it's enough. It's vibrant, but it's not like the letdown figure that we got a few years ago, whereby they've put, you know, a load of spray around it to make it look like it's glowing or anything. this works perfectly fine. Just the bright lime green on the black looks great, and it's great all over. We do have a peg hole on the back, so you can use that for flight stands if you wish. And as for articulation on the figure, the head moves up and down very nicely, left and right, and a wiggle there. We have the shoulders that move out to the side, and obviously as you move these things around, we do also have a butterfly joint here which works well. The lines obviously aren't going to match up as you start moving him around, but it is nice that they did include the line work even on that butterfly joint. So it is there. You got to give them props for that. So yeah, the shoulders come all the way out to the side, rotate all the way around. You got the rotation at the upper part of the arm, double jointed elbows, rotation, and the hinge there at the wrist, and that's the same on all of the hands. The torso doesn't really have all that great an ab crunch. It moves forward okay, and it moves back like a touch, like one little click. But for a Spider-Man figure, that really isn't enough. We do have the rotation at the waist, which I always find looks very kind of weird and clunky for these kind of more slimmer figures, because it just kind of turns into like a plus symbol. But there you go. The hips move out to the side. Would have preferred them to move much further. Hips move forward, and they do actually move back quite a far amount, so that's pretty good. Rotation there at the top of the thigh as well. Double jointed knees, and then you have the feet that move really nicely up, down, and have the ankle pivot as well. So obviously posability is good, but it's not the best. For a Spider-Man figure, I would want the legs to do like a full splits. I would want him to get a really nice crunch so that you can really have some awesome Spidey poses in the air, but it's just not really an option. You do have the peg in the back, so if you want to use a flight stand for him, you can. It just gives you more of an option instead of having to use a flight stand with the claws. It's a really nice looking figure. It's a massive upgrade over the other one. Like I say, I do have some paint issues with mine, with that gloss finish on the head and some of the the lines on the eyes and the torso just not really being all that sharp and crisp. Honestly, every single other one that I have seen, other reviews and other pictures of this guy, they've all been perfect. So yeah, I've got the bad one of the bunch. So you should be okay with yours. But obviously, if you can see them in stores somewhere, then obviously you can pick between them as to what has the better paint job. But it's really nice. It's going to give you some really good contrast on your Spider-Man displays instead of having a ton of red and blue all the time. So yeah, I definitely do recommend that you pick this figure up. It's got a bunch of nice accessories and it just looks great. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more from me, there's some videos on the screen right now and some links in the description below to my social media. For more Marvel Legends, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.